Okay, I've got my Lee's melting pot. This is one specifically for plastisol. I've got it turned down. We've got the Clearasil in here. Clearasil comes, I mean, you get it in a quart, you can get it in a half gallon, a gallon, 5 gallons. But this is what it looks like. It's the Clearasil Soft 4650. This is a 1 gallon container. Whenever you use it, just like any plastisol, make sure you shake it up good so all the ingredients inside get in it before you pour it in your pot. And then watch your pot. The one thing with this, these Lee pots will work for you, but on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say they were a 4 for being user friendly. I've burned a lot of plastisol in my pots. This Clearasil works a little bit better, and it doesn't burn as bad because you're at a lower temperature. But what we're going to do now is we've had these things on our little stands. We painted them. They're all done. They've got all the components that I want on these particular baits. But what you have to do is take this off, have something to hold it to dip it. The easiest thing I found is just taking a paper clip and bending the paper clip out so you can insert it into the bait. And then the next thing you have to have is you have to have some kind of rack that you can hang them on for them to dry. I've built several racks. This is a little one. It's got 4 different levels. And what's good about it is I use those threaded metal bars. First thing is when you put the paper clip on it, it holds it so it doesn't slip and stuff. The second thing on is you can take one bar off and move the next bar down so you can dry larger lures or smaller lures. And then I've actually got some that are twice this size that after I get done painting, I'll actually go over there and set those on that rack so they can dry, thoroughly before I package them, and then I can start painting other baits. What we're going to do now is I'm taking this one off. If you use the same type of base that I've used, I've got to caution you. You got to keep these things up. You got to keep them somewhere. You would hate to have one of these on the floor and then you walk out and then run this pin this far up your foot when you step on it. So be real careful with these, but these do work real well. So my plastisol is ready. I don't have any bubbles in it. So what I've done is I've just basically inserted that right down through the head. And you remember, anything that drips off, that's fine because you can cut that off and it won't hurt it. What you want to do is go straight in, and come right back out nice and slow, and let that heat, and just let it pull down and let it run for a minute. So all that plastisol is just running off of it, or the Clearasil, and then I just wipe it. And you can see it's still running. I've got a little bit on the bottom, but that's no big. I can cut that off. Now, I can take one of these that we painted before, and I don't know how good this is going to show up in the camera, but this one right here has not been dipped, whereas this one has, and you can just see the glow on. These are some I painted while I was waiting for the Clearasil to melt. So I'll set that one over here. I'll pull the next one off. I will caution you, if you get melted plastisol or even this Clearasil on you, on your bare skin, it's going to stick and it's going to burn. So you might want to make sure you've got an apron, something, long pants, to make sure that when you do this, you're protecting your body. Years ago, I actually had some come out of a pot and burn the entire top of my hand off. So it will hurt you, and you do have to be careful around it and use precautions. Okay, let's take one of these bluegills we did. I'll just do a few of these. I know you guys are tired of watching this video. It's long, but I've basically broken down what I do. And but I wanted to give you, this is a more time-consuming or difficult pattern to paint. The thing is, it really doesn't take that long. So I'm just going to keep dipping these. Now, when I do a shad body, such as this one by Spike It, those last ones we did were Bass Assassins, which I love to throw, and I've actually gone down south and had gone out with guides, and I know they throw them pretty heavy down there. It's just a really good bait. But this is just a shad. I'm doing it in the tail because what I'm going to do is when I go down and I dip this tail, as I bring it up, I'm going to turn the tail down so I can run off of this and then pull the rest of it out. So we take that down, just go right over the tail. When I bring it out, I don't know if you can see this, I'm not good with my left hand. I turn that so it can drip off, and then the rest of it's running off the bottom. So I actually got 2 drip spots here. Pick that one there, and a lot of times I'll just take my finger to knock off the big thing, and then we got, and that's just a gorgeous, gorgeous bait now. I don't know how well you can see the glitter that we put on these, but let me tell you, they look really good. I can't wait to go fishing. So we dip it down, make sure we got it clear. Let all the stuff run off of it. And there's the bait, and then we just let it dry. It doesn't really take them long to dry. It's when you do get them done, it's good to put them, like a lot of the bags that I open to get the baits out, then I wash them and then paint them. I'll just put them right back in the bags. Bring that camera up a little bit higher. There we go, now you can see better. And just kind of wipe off the tail, let that dry, and then we'll cut it. I even painted some different colors. Oh, excuse me. Let's clean the top where it's starting to settle up a little bit, because we want to make sure we've got good heated Clearasil, because if you get these big bumps and stuff, they will adhere to it and they'll stay on it. So you want to make sure that it's clear and clean, so you get a nice thin uniform coating over your bait. Now I've talked to Lure-Craft, and because of this, I'd like to do a better dip, but he's going to start making some pots, and I've requested them to build me a pot that's like 10 inches deep and 4 inches in circumference, so I can really do, you know, the 6, 8, and 9 inch baits. But you can just see these baits just totally change when they come out. Now, this big swim doctor, I didn't have the Lure-Craft eyes, the Lurework eyes for it. So what I did is I took some of their gold pearlescent paint and I put that in the eye cavity. And then after that dried, I went back and I put a black dot in there. It ran a little bit, but it'll be fine. And then I took, when this first mill and I was checking, I just took that and put some drips over it. So it sealed that. So now it looks like a 3D eye. Real big eye, it'll have a lot of color in it. Now this is a big bait. And one of the problems you might run into with larger baits, if your pot's not big enough, like I said, you know, check with your wife or your mom first. But you can use a microwave. I know you can go to a garage sale and find one. Take a microwave, pour it into a Pyrex dish, you know, and you can melt it that way and then dip it, but you'll have to keep doing it. On this pot, because it's not long enough, and that's why I requested a longer one, is that I found when dipping these bigger baits, if they get in there for too long and hit these sides, because this is hot, you got to remember this is 230 degrees to get it to melt, so it could be a little bit warmer. What happens when that gets down on that hot metal down there, it can just take the paint right off of it. It like melts it. So hopefully we'll get this one in there and it'll do good. You can see I'm bending it all the way down. And we pulled it out, and I won't be able to tell until I turn the bait around. Take that little stringer off. Now we'll turn it. And that one we basically lucked out. Now on baits such as this actually got a weight in it. We're going to have to go back, yeah, right here. You can see right here a little bit when it got down on the bottom, it took some of the paint off. Just a hair. But when this gets dry, we're going to have to clean out this hole because you run your line through the lead weight or whatever he's got in there for the weight. And we need to clean that out so we run line through it. And then it's also got the cut in it. And although that's sealed over that, we could cut that or we could, push the hook up in there. It's still going to work fine. But that's that big Swim Doctor bait we did. Now, when we were doing this yesterday, remember we did some different ones, and we put a chartreuse, and then we went over it with that baby bass color they have to get this real nice lace pattern on the back, scale pattern. Now we can see that a lot better. But when we go ahead and put this in there, what we're going to see is that should just really make that pop. So we're going to dip it down in. Let me see if I can do one left-handed, and that way you can see it. Just go right underneath. When we bring it up, we're turning it. We need to keep it away from all the sides. Let it drip off that tail. And then I just come over and kind of wipe it on the surface. Now, I should be able to really see that scale pattern pop out of it now. These eyes are all melted into it now, and they're not going to come off, and everything's real durable. Well, I'm going to go ahead and finish dipping these. I don't want to take any more time. Remember, this is a new paint by Lure Works. It's called Colure Coat 2.0. It's a great product. I've been playing with it now for about a month, a little bit over a month, and it's unbelievable for doing your plastic baits and stuff. I might even try it on some lead weights later to dip them. I have tried this on wooden baits. I've tried it on some of my hard plastic baits. The colors are real vibrant. But then I come back and I put a real durable coating on them, such as the urethane resin, which is a two-part that Lure Works sells, or I have some epoxies that I've used for years that I'm going to finish using those up, and then I might totally switch over to Lure Works. But whatever you want to do, you can really take it and but let me do one more real quick so we can compare them. But I mean, it's only to your imagination what you can do with these baits. And I mean, you can do this in your garage, or you can go ahead and wait until somebody really starts producing baits like this, and then buy them from them and pay the price. This paint's going to come in all different sizes. I've talked to the factory. They're going to put together some little kits, so that way you'll get, paints to paint a lot of the basic shad patterns and stuff with. And then whenever those are, you get everything you need to basically do at home. You'll get some of the Clearasil, you'll get some of the paint. They might put some paint brushes in there, some glitters or something. But I think this is a real good thing, good father and son project, and I really like it. This is Lee from Lee's Custom Baits. Remember, Bass Assassin, great products. I love their their shads, the single tail, they got the double tail. I love their big saltwater shads. These are real good to paint. That's what we've been painting today. We've also been painting some of Spike-It baits that they do, and we did a couple of the baits from Canyon Plastics. That is their Swim Doctor. It's a weedless swim bait. Your favorite bait, pour your own. Have a good time. Tight lines to you. And hopefully next week I'll have a video of me catching a lot of fish out on Lake Mead with these. So until then, you have a good day.